Hello everyone and welcome to a new IK video. This is Ken, and in this one we're gonna talk about press skills for the mixed march. Ever since the changes that has been applied to the Tress event or the Wish shop, a lot of people have access for Tress skills for much cheaper prices. So I believe everyone have access to Tress skills right now, whether you're a mid spender, low spender, or even a free-to-play player, but it's gonna take you some grinding and some time to unlock a skill through the KVK shop. We all know how the shop works exactly, so we're gonna skip this part and we're gonna talk about which skills to start getting for your mixed march. So for mixed march, it's kind of tricky on which skill that you need to start out with, because there is some kind of situational skills that you need, and then there are some kind of skills that you need permanently in your march. For example, the most important situational skill that you need is Purification. Purification is so important for mixed marches just because of how powerful is Weakening Curse. If you have seen my tier list video, I already talked about Weakening Curse a lot, and I already talked about how to counter it using Purification, so I don't need to mention this. We're gonna skip this part. Anyway, we're gonna go over the skill very quickly. Basically, Weakening Curse reduces your Alex and Hanny's damage by 70% for 45 seconds, and the only way to counter this skill is by using Purification. So if you're up against someone that is using Weakening Curse, or you know that someone in your server that is using Weakening Curse, and he could be a trouble for you during kill events, so you you 100% need Purification first, the first skill that you need to get from the Wish shop for your mixed mod. If you know that you can avoid such people who have Weakening Curse on their marches, then you probably don't need Purification first. You need Spring Flight. In my opinion, Spring Flight is the most important, and is not situational. You always need it in your mixed march, since mixed marches have a very high healings. If you're using an immortal such as Zenobia and you're using a skill such as Berserk, it applies a lot of healing since the front line relies entirely on their normal attacks. So increasing the heals that you get for 25%, and decreasing the damage that you receive by 15% the moment that you receive heals is gonna be so essential for your mixed march. It's gonna turn your mixed march upside down. This skill is so powerful. I know it received a bit of a nerf after it has been released, but it's still very powerful in my opinion, and still an S tier skill in my list. Alright, so once you get Spring Flight, the next skill that you need to get is Vitality Touch. Vitality Touch, in my opinion, the most powerful healing skill in the game so far in Tower of Knowledge. It applies a healing of 400%, and keep in mind that this amount will be increased by 25% if you're using Spring of Life, and it also increases the magical and physical defense by 10% for 18 seconds. This is actually a very powerful buff, especially for mixed march, since they don't have the full buffs that you get usually from the elements. All they have is the 20% physical and magical defense. They don't get the 20% physical or magical attack, and they don't get the 10% HP. So instead of the 10% HP, you get the 10% physical and magical defense. So this kind of a compensation for the lack of buffs the mixed march has, and in my opinion, a very powerful skill as well. The last skill that you need to get is Toxin Barrier. Even though Toxin Barrier is still powerful, especially against mixed marches, I believe that Spring of Life and Vitality Touch is more better for mixed marches. Also, Toxin Barrier could be avoided or could be countered in a lot of ways that I'm gonna talk about in a different video. Anyway, this will be all for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and have a wonderful day.